So what did make you get started in RCs?
I am not a YouTube fan, or at least I wasn't, but somehow, some way, I saw a YouTube video of these tiny trucks, 10th scale rock crawlers, scale trail trucks they call them. And I saw some videos of them in action, and I mean, I was hooked. Just watching the videos, I was hooked. So I, got out online and looked at all the trucks available, what I wanted to buy, and some were way too expensive, and some I didn't like. So the first one I got, it was an International Scout. That's the body. It was made by Red Cat.
Got the cambered racing too, suspension on it, and it's got an element rear axle. Everything else is still stock T-Rex forward.
Name's Kevin Drakewater with Clay Canal Crawlers out of Charleston. Been doing this for about 7 years. First time here at Cutler Canyon.
What's your initial thoughts? Have you seen the trails?
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to
be real tough.
Yeah,
I don't think we can do it.
Yeah, right, sorry.
what about me?
What about you? What's your name?
Easton.
Easton. Nice to meet you, Easton.
I'm a little kid.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 2 days.
2 days. That's a long time.
Yeah.
You've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Ever since he's probably 3 or 4.
Yeah,
How many do you have?
I have so many.
You do?
So you got what, you got about 6 of them, don't you?
That's
Yeah.
cool. Which is your favorite? Do you have it here with you?
Yeah.
Where is it? Down right there?
Your little one.
That one.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep, I broke the vehicle.
You did?
Yeah.
Crashed the front.
Kids will do that sometimes.
All right, so we were...
So yeah, my first truck was it's made by Red Cat. It's a Gen 8 International Scout body. It was orange and black stripes, and it was cool looking. So, you've seen my place. We've got that natural ravine. I've always enjoyed hiking down in there to the creek bed. Used to hunt there before we moved out there. So when I got that truck, I went over the hill and I started thinking, well, what can I crawl over? What can I do? So I started clearing some trails, and then I got out on Facebook and said, hey, I'm in the Athens, Parkersburg area. Who out there wants to go crawling? And the first guy to speak up was Garrett Powell. He's on that list. And he came out, ran the little bit of trails that I had already cleared, and saw the potential, and he invited his buddy Sean next time we got together, and we started clearing some trails. We started going to other places to crawl, like Hocking Hills. We'd go there to crawl. Lancaster has a park that we'd go to. So we would just go to different places, and then we started working on my place, expanding my trails, making more obstacles, and it just started from there.
You can, winch each other through. You can touch your trucks for that, but any other time you touch your trucks, 5-minute penalty. It took us 30 minutes to go through this trail. Wow. So, any touch penalties will be added onto that. Lowest time wins. Okay. This is the trail for the trucks, but that's pretty hard to walk. So they come through here, and this is the first gate that they have to hit, come down these rocks. And then here's the second gate. They got to traverse these roots, which are hard. You got to go up this rock ledge, follow the loop around, and come through those gates right there. So once they come down that rock there, and they come back through here, be careful here, Chris. Come through this gate. Now trail 1 usually goes down around there, and you hit a tree down here that you can crawl up. But for the competition, we're just coming straight over here. Up through this gate here. You got to crawl this ledge right here. Come up here. Crawl this ledge. Watch where you're walking. And these are all really tough spots. This is a tough spot. You got to come through this little gate here, and this is a tough spot right here. Watch your step. So you come through here. We're going to come over this rock, around this rock, and then you've got the bridge. And be careful stepping over here. Come through that gate there, you crawl across that real slippery rock there. Watch your step coming across. I like to stay in the leaves a little bit. All right, come on down here now. So we're still crawling this ledge here. Come through here. And this is a tough little gate right here. You gotta crawl this route and come around there. Crawl up there, through that gate. We're almost to the finish line. So we come down here and go through this gate, and you go around and you come up this rock, and then this is the finish line right here. You come up that rock, and that's the finish line.
So how did you get your first sponsor?
Oh gosh, the first sponsor didn't happen until a couple months ago, and my first truck was 4 years ago. So I've been in it that long. Garrett and Sean and a lot of the people that I go with, they've been in the hobby for a long time, but I'm fairly new. And so once I started getting these trails going, I started inviting more people, like Bo. That's Dennis's cousin. Dennis and I were fishing or something one day, and he said, my cousin Bo is into those trucks. We ought to, you ought to get together with him. So he's the first one that said, Scott, you ought to have an event out here. And that was, gosh, when was that? I think that was last fall. Yeah, that was last fall, late summer. He said, you ought to have an event. So we had one in end of October, first part of November, I think. And
Of last year.
Of last year.
2023.
Yeah. And we had 30 people come out. It was good weather, good turnout. Had a good time. So then I had another one in May. Unfortunately, I had to reschedule that one. It came up right to the event, and they were calling for nasty rain, and you've seen the trails. They're pretty dangerous when they get muddy. So I postponed it a week, and I think that, affected the attendance. We still had another 30 people come out, but I think if we would have kept it the original day, and, we might have had more. I met some people from the Charleston area, Charleston, West Virginia area, just through Facebook. They've got a crawler group, Clay and Kanawha County crawler group. And I joined that group and went down there and crawled with them at St. Albans, and where else did we go? Kanawha State Forest. So met a good group of guys down there, and you know, they were aware of Cutler Canyon, but they've never been up here. So you know, they got a group of guys to come up one Saturday. I think that was in July, maybe June, I'm not sure. But they came up, spent the day at my place, crawled the trails, and loved it. And they were like, Scott, you know, this is the perfect trail for a competition. We've done this 3-driver competition before. It's a scale run, you know, you can't touch your truck unless you're hooking a winch to it or whatever. This is a great place for it, you know. So, and Bo and Nick and Austin, all the regulars, we had talked about doing something like that, like a recovery run where a truck was out in the woods, needed recovered, so we have to go out and recover them and bring them back, kind of thing. We thought about that. But then when these guys, Richard Bowling was one of them, he was like, yeah, this would be a great place for that. Mark Larson, this would be a great place. So I was like, yeah, let's do that. So I scheduled the event for the end of September. And Mark, another guy, Dale Little, he didn't make it to the event, but he comes out often and runs the trails, and they know people in the industry. You know, I don't know how, but they just know people in the industry, and they were like, hey, why don't you give this guy a call or a message, send this guy a message, send this guy an email. I came up with a little PowerPoint presentation for Cutler Canyon RC, you know, with some pictures and you know, if a sponsor wanted to sign up, this is what they would get in amount, and you know, that kind of thing. And I sent it to my brother. So he took this PowerPoint presentation of mine, it was just 6 or 8 or 7 slides, and he did a voiceover and turned it into a commercial. Oh my gosh, it was so. Nick was there with me when he sent it to me. And I was like, Nick, look at this. And Nick was like, you got to post that right now. That is so cool, you know. So we did, and I don't know if, and I did send that to some of the sponsors that these guys, Mark, Richard, they were like, contact these guys. So I did, and a couple of them got back with me and said, hey, fill out this sponsorship form, and we'll see what we can do. So I did, and I did all the big names. I didn't do Traxxas, but I did Red Cat and Boom Racing and RC 4-wheel drive, a couple of others. And I got an email one day, sitting in the living room, pulled up, you know, holy mackerel, I've got an email from RC 4-wheel drive. They're one of the biggest names in the industry, you know. Scale trucks, you want a scale truck, you go to RC 4-wheel drive. Or Boom Racing, good companies, but RC 4-wheel drive. Hey, Scott, would you be interested in us being a title sponsor? You'd have to change the name of the event to, you know, RC 4-wheel drive presents Cutler Canyon Crawl, Fall Crawl 24. I was like, well, yeah. So I messaged him back and said, you know, absolutely, it's a possibility. And this was like a month, maybe month and a half before the event. You know, I kind of started late with the sponsorship. But we got it worked out. You know, they sent me a big box of door prizes to give away. I talked to John, but he's with RC 4-wheel drive. I spoke to him on the phone for a half hour, probably, you know, just talking back and forth about stuff, and good guy. And he sent me the big box of stuff to give away, and so we had enough door prizes to give. Everybody walked away with something, and a few of them walked away with 2 things. So so that's, you know, once I got RC 4-wheel drive, then I hit some of the local hobby shops, Ed's RC in Parkersburg, Country Junction in Athens. Mark, I think he knows the guy at Three Brothers RC. So we messaged back and forth, and he was like, yeah, I'll send you something to give away. So he sent us, oh gosh, 3 or 4 things, 4 or 5 things, and a banner, you know, Three Brothers RC banner to put on the trails. So yeah, that's how that sponsorship stuff started.
So let's talk about your third event. I guess this is your third event.
This is the third event.
Kind of step through what happened, like from sign in to the meeting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. When they first come in, you know, they sign in and you know, pay the $20 event fee, and that gets them a ticket, which we use for the door prize drawings at the end of the day. So they sign in, find a place to park, set up their stuff, and they usually have a table that they bring out and put all their trucks out there, and maybe an easy up. They'll pop up an easy up, and just to hang out for the day. So then we had a drivers meeting, talk about the competition. You know, went over the rules, which were really simple, tire size rules. We had class 1, class 2, class 3, and that was based on tire size. Up to 419 tire size was class 1, up to 475 was class 2, and then above 475 was class 3. Didn't matter about bumpers. Some of the competitions you get into, your front bumper has to be as wide as your chassis, or you have to have a rear bumper. A lot of things like that in the classes. We didn't want any of that. We just wanted tire size, because the trails are challenging enough. So
team 1, who was
we
in
drew
that group?
names for the teams, so that it was just a fun event.
Right.
No stacking the teams. Just we drew the team, drew the names. Right, class 1, class 2, class 3. It's team 1.
So the first team that came through, was that Easton Bowling, and was it
Richard Easton, his son Easton, and then Nathan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those guys went first.
I believe so.
They encountered a little bit of difficulty, but they did okay.
No, did they go first? No,
I think
they went second.
Actually, yeah,
they went second.
Right. They did go second.
Yeah.
So was it Nick Clevenger? Carly?
That's Nick and Carly and Landon. They were on team 1.
Nick Clevenger, Carly Drinkwater, Landon Drinkwater.
Yeah, and
they went first.
Yeah.
But they were, I guess maybe they were team 2.
And I believe either Landon or Carly, they were new, first time running a truck, and they were in this competition on a muddy, slippery day, and hopefully they had fun. I think they had fun, but.
And then Nick had the white truck, right?
Nick had the RC 4-wheel drive. It is an RC 4-wheel drive Toyota TF2. No, it's a Marlin. He's got a Marlin.
He had a little bit of an accident too.
Well, yeah, he had a what we call a scale death. His truck rolled off of a pretty big cliff. In real life, that would have been like a 100-foot drop. So, and it damaged his truck that he couldn't finish the comp. So the other two just finished, just on themselves.
And their times were 44.55.
To finish the trail was 44 minutes, and they had quite a few penalties from if you touch your truck, right? If it rolls over and you can't recover it, if you touch the truck, it was a 5-minute penalty.
Okay, they ended up with 1:14.55 as a total. So
okay, yeah,
that was their totals. So the next team, I guess, was probably team 1, who went second, was Nathan Bennett, Richard Bowling, and Easton Bowling.
Yeah,
father and son pair there.
Yeah,
and they did pretty well. Their time was 30:32. Okay, team 3 was Bo Watson, Kevin Drinkwater, and Garrett Powell.
Yep.
Their time was 25:53.
That's a pretty good time.
And they had 7 penalties, and they had a total of 60.5.
That's a pretty good time. Yeah.
Then the next team, the last team, which you were on, was you, Sean Hardesty, and Austin Hennedy stacked this team.
For the record, for the record, I wasn't going to run. I was only going to judge, and I wasn't going to run because everybody'd say I have home field advantage.
Which you did.
Which I did, but so we only had 2 people for that team, so that's when I said, okay, I'll drive 2. So.
And so your all's time was 23.38 with 3 penalties for a total time of 38:30. Is that the fastest time ever?
That is. Oh well, yeah. So far, that is. Yeah.
And with those conditions, that is pretty good.
That was really good. And to be honest, I didn't do anything. I didn't have to help another truck. I didn't have to be helped. The other 2 guys they helped each other get through some of the tough spots, and my truck is pretty capable, so it was able to get through on its own. So I really didn't contribute to the team. I'm just putting that out there.
But you didn't give him any penalties. So
I didn't give him any penalties.
That's good.
Yeah.
So
It's like I wasn't even there.
What is your favorite racer, or not racer, I guess, crawler? Which
That I
vehicles are
have?
best? Yeah. I noticed you had one there with a canopy on it.
Oh yeah, that's my scale truck.
Tell me a little bit about that.
That is a Boom Racing. It's called a BRX02 Series 3 109. It's a big name, but it's a Land Rover pickup from probably the 70s. And
you need to unlock your iPhone first.
I wasn't talking to you. So it's a Land Rover pickup truck with a 109-inch wheelbase. That's what they had. That's why they call it the 109. And it's a hard body, what they call a hard body. It's hard ABS plastic body versus a Lexan, soft Lexan body that come on some of these other trucks. And so that's my favorite scale truck, I guess. I have a hard body Land Rover Defender, which is cool. I've got it scaled out with, cooler in it and a little Coleman grill that I 3D printed, and a milk crate that holds a chainsaw, tools in the back, and I like that rig too. I like all my trucks. I really don't know that I have a favorite. The Ecto, which is one I ran in the competition, that's what I built the trails with, really. Either that or I've got a Traxxas TRX4. It's a Blazer body, 72 Blazer body, somewhere around there. And I built all those trails with those trucks. So the Ecto can do anything. It's a capable truck. It's.
Is that the one you were using?
That's the one I ran in the competition.
Yeah, that thing was hauling.
Yeah, it can do anything. So, and that's, like I said, that's what I built the trails with. So that's why they're tough. That's a capable truck. So the trails are tough.
Yeah. Hat tip to the chefs that fixed us the food.
I tell you what,
good.
without Paula and the kids, Seth and his kids, Presley, Caden, they all helped out. But Seth, good golly, and his friend Jordan, they did all the cooking and serving and set up, clean up. They've helped me out so much. If I had to go out, away from the registration desk, they took over with registering people, and so yeah, it's a family thing.
So we had a hurricane go through, and of course we've been talking a bit about the weather. Early on, it was raining and the conditions were really bad, and obviously there's worry that people will fall off the hill, because I think that's a straight drop down.
It's treacherous. Yeah, treacherous. Yeah.
And then finally the sun came out, and of course you're in the shade, so it didn't really dry the track out, but at least it wasn't raining on everyone.
Yeah. By the end of the day, it was surprising how dry it did get for as much rain as we got the last couple of days. It was amazing how much it dried up. Like you said, the trails were still tacky, but they weren't as sloppy as first thing in the morning. So
after the competition, it seemed like everyone else was just kind of out there, and they were running the trails, and some of the guys were down in the creeks, and they lined all their trucks up on the bridge, which was kind of cool, and they were getting pictures of it seemed like everybody was having a really, really good time.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, of course, after everyone got done, they had the awards banquet.
Yeah.
And so let's talk us a little bit about that, like who won what and how did that go?
Well, as far as the competition goes, this year we didn't have anything other than bragging rights, no kind of trophy or anything special, but we've been talking, and we're going to build our own trophy out of spare parts, and we're going to call it the Cutler Canyon Cup. And next fall crawl, we're going to have another competition with that, as the cup for the winners. But we did have a door prize giveaway, and that was scheduled for 5, but rain was threatening. Some people had to leave a little early, so we moved it up to 3 o'clock, and we gave away all the door prizes that the sponsors provided for us, and then some people left, some people stayed. I think they were there till. I think I had some guys there till like 11 o'clock last night.
Wow.
They did some night runs. You know, night runs are fun. You know, you got your headlights on your cars and a headlight on your head, and you know, walking through the woods at night with your tiny trucks. What can be better?
All right, well, Sean, I almost called you Sean Scott. Thanks a lot for the interview.
Oh man, thank you. It was
Had a good time, and,
yeah.
and we'll look forward to the next one.
Cool, thanks.
All right.